Here's your latest African news. Worldwide, African presidents in the US for UN Assembly. The 76th edition of the UN General Assembly kicks off today, and African leaders will have an opportunity to address the world, with various contentious topics such as an African Permanent Security Council seat, Africa's future at the UN, and the current vaccine apartheid. Tunacheki will strive to bring you all these speeches in our short mini-series Africa at the United Nations, starting today. Sudan. Sudan authorities report failed coup. The Sudan government says there has been a failed coup attempt in the country and measures are being taken to contain it, state media are reporting. There had been an attempt to take over the building that houses the state media, a government source said. The government spokesman added the interrogation of suspects behind the attempted coup would begin shortly. Algeria. France begs for forgiveness for its abandonment of Algerian collaborators. President Macron begged for forgiveness on behalf of his country for abandoning Algerians who fought alongside France during Algeria's War of Independence from France. More than 200,000 Algerians fought with the French army in the war that pitted Algerian independence fighters against their French colonial masters from 1954 to 1962. At the end of the war, that France committed gruesome atrocities and human rights violations, including widespread torture. The French government abandoned the loyalist fighters known as Acquis to fend for themselves, despite promises that it would look after them. After the war, thousands escaped to France but were instead interned in concentration camps, often with their families, in degrading and traumatizing conditions. Macron was heckled while speaking to an audience of Acquis and their descendants in Paris. He promised legislation on reparations as well as a monument. Rwanda. Hotel Rwanda's Paul Rusesabagina found guilty of terror charges. After spending more than a year behind bars and standing trial, the man who inspired the 2004 film Hotel Rwanda was found guilty of terrorism-related offenses. Former hotelier Paul Rusesabagina, 64, was tried in Rwanda's High Court alongside 20 other defendants on a number of charges, including forming an illegal armed group, financing a terrorist group, murder, and abduction. While reading the verdict before the court in Rwanda's capital Kigali, Judge Beatrice Mukamurenzi said the evidence shows that Rusesabagina and the co-accused were part of a terrorist group that committed acts of terrorism. Rusesabagina's family and attorneys condemned the trial as a sham, saying there was no credible evidence and that his conviction was inevitable. Ethiopia and Egypt. Ethiopia and Egypt welcome call to resume dam talks. Ethiopia's foreign minister has welcomed the UN Security Council's call to resume talks with neighboring Sudan and Egypt to resolve their dispute and finalize the agreement on filing and operating the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. The ministry also welcomes the Council's move to direct the matter to the African Union. Egypt sees it as an existential issue as it relies almost entirely on the river for its water supply, while Ethiopia sees the dam as a way to bring electricity to millions of its citizens. Africa-wide. Cameroon crowned African women's volleyball champions. Defending champions Cameroon were on September 19th crowned the winners of the 2021 African Women's Volleyball Championships after a 3-1 victory over Kenya at Kigali Arena. Cameroon beat the East Africans 3-1 to successfully defend the title that they had won in 2019. Meanwhile, Morocco beat Nigeria in straight sets to take bronze at the 2021 edition of the championships. Courtesy of their reaching the finals, Cameroon and Kenya have booked a ticket to the 2022 FIVB Volleyball Women's Championship. Benin. Benin startup builds computers out of Jerricans, distributes them at low cost. A Benin startup biolab has started building computers out of Jerricans and distributing them at low cost. Locals call it Jerry after the name of the containers. With royalty-free software installed, it is as good as new, and most importantly, cheap. Biolab, a digital innovation lab working in the fields of education and digital technology, makes these Jerrycan computers. The startup regularly organizes workshops to teach people how to make their own computers for free. Mederd Agbayazon, the founder of Biolab, says in addition to giving people access to cost-effective products, the trainers want to help them develop skills in innovation. Experts believe that the computer is increasingly an indispensable working tool and that initiatives such as biolabs should be encouraged. Thanks for watching. Visit our YouTube channel Tunacheki to watch our daily news reports and our website tunacheki.tv for all our latest news updates. Also, don't forget to catch our new show Startup Africa every Thursday on our channel. You can directly support this new series by becoming a YouTube member or becoming a Patreon. And remember, Africa is watching.